What's poppin', y'all? I just thought we'd do a little reminder, a little checkup on how clout chasing does not help your rap career and how clout chasing lasts so little. So a couple of months ago, in September 25th, so a little bit over 2 months ago, Toronto rapper Top 5 was freed. So if you guys are unfamiliar with Top 5, he was known for talking a lot of trash on the internet. And he was rolling with the crew, Somali dude from Toronto. He was rolling with the crew. He kind of rapped, and he was really like that. But this is funny because at the time, people thought that, oh, this guy's just a troll on the internet. He was kind of running the 6ix9ine method. But yeah, people that I've known before this that are in the Toronto area, even they have had encounters with him or his people. And they've known people that have been robbed by them. The guy was a menace, basically. And he was quite entertaining here and there, but after a while you get tired of the shtick, and when the movie turns off and you got to listen to the soundtrack, and you realize it's garbage, then you start to think, what the hell does this guy even have to offer? So the first time he was ever shouted out, I think he was 16. It was by Drake, when Drake just said like top five, top five, top five years ago. I think this was on Views, if I'm not mistaken. This was around the same era when he was rolling around with Halal Gang, Drake, when he was shouting them out. And then him and Moji had that issue. And we don't know what happened to Moji after that. Smoke Dogg too. So Drake has always been tapped into his own scene. But Top 5 got a lot more popular when he started hopping on academic streams. And I don't know what this was born from, because I think like Academic's relationship with this Toronto scene is very odd, because I genuinely think they're worse than Chicago, and he wasn't involved in Chicago. He was just covering Chicago. But these guys have elevated beefs on his streams, and they're largely untalented. Like, there were some rappers, like, who was it? Robin Banks, I think, Houdini, that were decent rappers. Like, they could have actually made something shake despite the background that they came from. But they had died or, like, I think in Robin Banks' case, just gotten incapacitated. And he now he's like wheelchair ridden. That a lot of that talent just got killed or left and hasn't really been able to crack into the US market, or hell, even much of the UK market. So it's a little bit odd. Whereas, like, for example, Chicago drill, even if you don't know anything about the Chicago drill scene from 2012, the music hit, the music banged. They made some good music. The same can't really be said for a lot of these Toronto rappers. So Top 5, he ends up going to jail, or he ends up being wanted for being a part or complicit in a murder, allegedly complicit in a murder, where they thought they were running up on an opposing op, another like Somali kid who was like early 20s, that was an accounting student. Guy gets killed. And then Top 5 is basically on the run. So the dude goes on the run from Toronto, gets caught in LA. All the while he's doing the race, FaceTiming academics on IG Lives. Just a lot of foolery. Eventually he gets caught, brought to Toronto. He's sitting in jail for, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years. And then the case gets dropped, or like he wins. The judge dismisses it because lack of evidence, I guess. So the first thing that this guy does, some tomfoolery, of course, some nonsense. So first off, he posts, shout out Big Bro, Champagne Poppy, in reference to Drake, for the lawyer fees, and Gary Grill for being the best lawyer in Toronto. That guy really saved them. Hashtag Allahu Akbar. This is, oh my God. People talk about Dirk using religion. At least Dirk was trying to change his life around. This guy gets out. You think, okay, maybe he's learned his lesson. He tries to change his life around. Nah, first IG story he posts, y'all rap. Oh, my big bro, Drake, some apologies, or please don't come to Toronto, GGG. And he starts talking trash about Kendrick, starts talking trash about the West Coast, just doing a bunch of nonsense on the internet. And Academics, I think, has him on his stream. It does some numbers. Does the guy release any music? No. Thank God, because his music sucks. And this is the whole thing. Like, we're not here to talk about this guy's street credibility. Like, yeah, he's with the shits, but we don't care about that. Like, this is not a crime channel. We're here to talk about the music, the rapper. He claims he's a rapper. And his raps, he hasn't even dropped music since he's been released. He's not signed to a deal or anything. And I said years ago when he was getting some attention and his music was actually doing okay numbers, I was saying this guy needs a writer. He needs some reference tracks. Please get yourself some reference tracks, and you might have some motion, be able to do something legitimate with your career, because he has the personality. He's a funny guy, especially if he drops the whole, it's not even an act. If he drops the whole actually doing everything you're talking about and just disrespecting people for no reason, this is how you know he's a clout chaser on another level. He started trying to go at Whack 100. But Whack 100, I've seen him go back and forth with damn near any and everybody. He decided to ignore this guy because he knew, oh, okay, if I don't pay attention to this guy and I don't beef with him, then people are just going to stop paying attention to him. And what have you heard from this guy in the past 8 to 12 weeks? Not a peep, like a mouse. You've probably heard less from him now in the past 2 months than when he was actually locked up and he had all this to say. I don't know if Drake's got him on a stipend. Like, allegedly, he's got Smiley on a stipend in LA. And Smiley's just living in Drake's LA house while Drake's not there, which must be a pretty cool life. And I don't really have much to say negative about Smiley other than the fact that a lot of his music sucks. I wouldn't even say he fell off. He never really got on. He had one song. But Smiley's a cool, chill guy. He does his own thing, and he's not trying to terrorize anybody else. It seems like he left his past behind him, which he didn't even gloat about as much as Top 5 did. So in the case of Top 5, are we ready to pack up his career, or did his career never stop? Or never start, I should say. And it's disappointing because you'd think someone would not only learn their lesson, but you'd think they'd capitalize on the opportunity. The only opportunity this guy has is music. All he knows how to do is music, rob, extort. I think he was even trying to claim that, I don't even know if it's true or not, that he was the one that either got back DJ Drama's chain or snatched DJ Drama's chain. I think it was that they snatched DJ Drama's chain when he got robbed and stuck up in Toronto because issues that he had with Drake. So are you really just going to keep pushing it like you're Drake's muscle and then going at Kendrick when Kendrick didn't even say anything about these people? And Kendrick will do a show. Like we saw, Kendrick scheduled some tour dates in Toronto. Is Top 5 going to try and terrorize that? I'd like to see. Hopefully he doesn't. I genuinely want this guy to stay out of prison. But it just seems, I think he's missing something up there, and he likes the thrill. I don't even know. But he clearly doesn't like music because, number one, he sucks at it. And number two, he hasn't dropped any music. And this is why I think there's this, I wouldn't say contrast. And We Love Hip Hop Network, I think Ricky or Friday, he does a good job of this. I follow his page, so I check out some stuff here and there. But I think the disappointing thing about Toronto scene, because 2014 to 2016, I was paying attention to Toronto music a lot. And there were great artists coming from there, not just R&B, but also kind of like rap, a little bit of a blend, melodic artists. And it seems to be the case that either that dried up, or what's happening now is that these rappers that are doing all the gang stuff, and I think the US and UK drill had an influence on that. Those artists are getting the most attention, and the actual talented artists that would be able to represent that region very, very well isn't getting enough attention. I don't know if it's because their music isn't good enough, or if it's because they're not making music that appeals to this demo in Toronto, because they've probably got to get lit in Toronto first before they can cross over or do anything. But I don't think that's very limiting, because you've even got somebody on the other side of the country, Vancouver. You had people like Baby No Money blow up, who is nowhere near. The guy's kind of like a jokey rapper. Now, I do think he's skilled as a rapper, but he's leaned into more so like jokes, his personality, and he does very well for himself. So if the talent is there and the music is there, it will shine through. So I'm just really interested to see. I actually want to listen to some good Toronto artists that aren't involved and their story doesn't have anything to do with gangs. Like people were saying, was it Mustafa, I think? Was one of those acts. But he's still very involved in the politics of that situation. I do think he's a good artist, though. But I'm talking about other people that aren't involved in this stuff whatsoever. Like what's a regular rapper or a regular R&B artist from Toronto doing? Like what are those guys? What music are those guys making, and who are they? So if you're from that region or if you're tapped into that, please let me know. Throw it in the comments. People will be scrolling the comments. Maybe they can check them out. I personally want to check them out because I think a different side needs to be highlighted. And Canada is such a close place to the US that there should be more collaborations with artists that aren't involved in the BS. And this is the thing that holds them back too, because even if they end up being good artists, they're not coming into the USA because they've got criminal records or they've made threats to other people within the US. So they can't even take advantage of the market. Whereas an artist that's not on any of that can. So let me know in the comments, like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Do you think Top 5 will ever drop a song that is listenable? And how long will it take? Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.